is rising.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Cellarmen's Folly podcast, episode number 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like
It's a quarter century old.
Yeah, we are getting up there.
Yeah, we're old as fuck now. And we're jaded. And we're sad.
It did snow heavily today.
Yeah.
And
seasonal depression.
it just happens as long as you live in upstate New
Yeah.
York. You're going to hit that
That's
wall.
when you bust the hats out.
Yeah, my hair. Well, I didn't want to do my hair today, but yeah.
You do your hair? I've never done. You guys both do your hair. I do like when I get out of the shower, I do this, and then I'm good.
I just
My
throw
hair's
some stuff
too
in my hair
long.
and do the same
Yeah.
thing, but with stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really bad.
Yeah, I throw agave
looks
in it.
great.
I throw
Agave?
agave
Oh,
and
wow.
kind of slick it
And
back.
maple
Can I
syrup.
lick your hair?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, a little tasty treat.
all.
We've been busy the last month. We have a couple of fun things planned today. We're going to try the chai whiskey again. We're going to try the one we did from last month and see how it has progressed and see if it's ready yet. Everyone's been wondering. We kind of threw everyone. Yeah, we threw everyone for a loop because we promoted that we're going to be our shop is going to be open every Friday for pre-orders, and some people were like, "Oh, I can't wait to get a bottle." I'm like, "Well, you can pre-order your bottle."
Pre-order.
Yeah.
You order it before it's available.
Yeah,
You know.
should be more clear. I thought the flyer made said pre-order starting this date, but
Yeah, but when you just look at it and you're excited, you're like, oh, great, I can get a bottle. You know,
Yes.
you don't even think about it.
Yeah, next time when we have a sign for that, we won't write pre in white text on a white background.
right, that was where I screwed up.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for our Patreon members, and we got a couple of new ones.
We do have two new ones. First is John Beach.
John.
Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Well, technically, I mean, you were new last month.
Yeah, but we recorded the podcast pretty early last month.
He joined just after we recorded the podcast, but just before we had our cocktail class.
Yes.
So he was able to take part and, have a good time.
I think I shouted him out in the newsletter, too.
In the newsletter,
Yep. Yeah, he made it just in time.
Yeah,
for
just
that,
in time.
Just as we progress through the various things that we're going to do, and then also we have, I might butcher this, Grey Wolf Afraid of Bear.
Yes, that's Grey Wolf. We call her Wolfie. She's a regular at Singers. And John Beach is also, he's an employee of Singers. So we're really honing in on that Singers community.
Yeah, we're
That's
actually
awesome.
we're just going to grow enough to the point where we just consume everybody who's actually there. Yeah. We will become one whole unit.
That's why our cocktail class is on Mondays. Because we
Singer's
know most
Folly.
Singerman's Folly.
Singerman's.
Got a good ring to it.
Cellarmen Singers.
Yeah.
All right, we're done.
We don't want to take any business away from Singers. That's why our cocktail class is always on Monday, because we know Singers is closed.
Right.
And half of our cocktail class people are the Singers people.
But Grey Wolf was also, incidentally enough, in our last cocktail class as a guest of John and Becky's.
Yeah, just Becky.
Or just technically, well...
They shared a screen, but
They shared a screen, and they were at John and Becky's house.
That's true.
Technically speaking, Becky was the person who invited Grey Wolf. So, and then, Grey Wolf ended up joining. And also, just if it isn't clear, Grey Wolf is actually their legal name.
Yes. Grey Wolf, Wolfie. She's the best. She's awesome, and we're excited for her to join the classes. And I think she's going to be in the Holly and Becky team for Whiskey Wednesdays too, because they're always together for those.
Speaking of Whiskey Wednesday, that is actually coming up.
Yep, this Wednesday.
This week. Yeah. We're recording this a few days in advance.
Yeah, this should be up before that.
Yeah, but anyway, Whiskey Wednesday happening this week, December 14th. Yeah.
Yeah, busy week this week. We got we're doing the podcast today. Tomorrow, Cellarmen's Folly is sponsoring the Singers live stream, which we always sponsored the Singers live stream back in the COVID days. And then Wednesday's Whiskey Wednesday, and then Friday our shop is open.
Pre-orders.
Pre-orders. Yeah. There'll be some cocktails from local distilleries. You can get, I think we'll probably get Lock 1's Triple Sec. Maybe some last shot whiskey and gin or something. I don't know. I haven't thought of the cocktails yet, but all the liquor that you're going to be getting is New York State liquor. That's what we can do at our shop. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no beer and wine, but we'll have cocktails.
Yeah. No whining about it.
No whining. But we're excited. You can get merchandise too. We'll have our T-shirts and shot glasses and stuff too. And come check out the shop. It looks very different since the last time you've seen it.
Right. And also just, again, to reiterate, if you want to pre-order a bottle of the Chai Fusion whiskey that, we are actually going to be testing.
We're testing a lot.
Momentarily. Yeah, we're going to drink the whole thing right here.
Yeah.
You have to come here.
You have to.
We have to. Legally, that's what we have to do.
Legally, yes. All sales for our bottles have to be done on the premise.
And we want you to come and hang out with us anyway.
Yeah. We'll say this just to Patreon members. We are advertising it as takeout only because there's not a lot of seating, there's no tables, there's nothing like that. But if you're coming from Syracuse or wherever, Cortland, like if Zach wants to come,
Hang out for a minute.
Feel free to come and hang out and chat with us. We'll serve you a to-go cup for your cocktail so you can take it out. But don't feel like you have to just
drive out here and then
pre-order
bounce.
and don't get anything and leave. So please hang out. You'll see that advertised on social media that it's takeout only, but we want you guys to hang out.
Yep, hell yeah. All right, now we have just like last time we were sipping on this mystery whiskey throughout.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The entirety of the podcast. So if you guys did not check out last month's podcast,
please do. It was a fun
please
one.
do. It was a fun podcast. A little long. Yeah, we ramble a bit.
Yeah.
So last month was the first time that we ever had a mystery whiskey at the very beginning of the class, and then sipped on it over the course of our discussion, and that was really fun. We're gonna do it again.
Also, it's that time of year where everyone's sniffly, so
I
feel okay, but you guys...
I don't smell anything in this.
I smell it, but...
Man. It smells lovely.
Oh, I'm going to have a hard time today.
Yeah, we won't say anything until the end.
Oh, well, you guys did two different things. Am I doing a shot glass or a glass?
I guess it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. We have two glasses, so also, in case you can't... in case you can't quite see it.
I like to sip on something for an hour or so.
I don't know why I did that. It was the nearest glass.
Yeah.
So we have two glasses in front of each of us. One is to taste the mystery whiskey that it was Nick's turn.
Yes,
and
meaning it was Molly's turn.
Yeah, which meant it's actually, somebody other than Nick to pick the whiskey.
I know nothing.
Yeah.
Wow, the more I smell it, the more I get... Never mind. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But
chocolate.
Keep it to yourself. Dark chocolate?
Kind of, honestly.
But we also have a glass here as well to taste our a sample of our next, the kind of progression of our Chai Fusion whiskey, which we will get to in a little bit.
Yeah.
So first,
cheers guys.
A little bit.
Nick, jump the gun here.
Sip that.
Sorry, I didn't sip it. Interesting. We'll talk about that in a little bit. A little hair of the dog for me. But it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time deciphering it.
Yeah.
We can talk about it later.
I have something like
I'll drink a little bit more.
laser specific in mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's usually when we do, it's completely off.
Yeah.
Like the times where like this, I'm 100% sure. So this is Irish whiskey, and then it came from Japan, and be like, oh,
I know.
Well, okay, I guess we don't know what we're talking about.
Dude, I remember that one time. This is months ago, where I was absolutely 100% sure that it was Southern Comfort, and it happened to be like the French. The brand or something.
Oh yeah, like the creme brulee whiskey.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
What?
That is not what I thought it was at all.
That is funny.
But that's the beauty of doing this.
Right.
Is well, I mean, we try to figure it out, but we're not perfect at it.
No.
And it just goes to show just what kind of variety you can get. That's why this is so fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's good.
Yep.
What do we got to talk about, Colin? You have the agenda, right?
I do have the agenda. It is all up here. One thing to mention, because we're talking about this podcast, and we'll probably have some funky editing, about 25 or 30 minutes into this. We have an interview.
Yeah.
It's been
you guys haven't done that in a while.
No.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've arranged an interview. If you've been a Patreon member for a very long time, you'll know that we were doing them, especially during the height of the pandemic. That was when it was.
We had a lot more time.
Yeah, we had a lot more time on our hands. So did everybody else.
So did everyone else too. Yeah.
Yeah, and where we were interviewing what seemed to be like every month or every other month, somebody from around the industry, and we probably haven't done that in like maybe 6 months or so.
What was the last one?
The last one we did was Buffalo Happy Hour.
Yeah.
I think that was in March or something. So yeah, it's been.
It was March actually because I was at my parents' house.
Oh, that's
And
when
the
you're
only reason I remember
yeah.
that is because the movie that was filmed at my home while I was displaced came out yesterday.
Oh, it did.
Yeah,
Did you see it yet?
I did actually see it.
Nice. How was it?
I'm not going to say anything about how it went. Or how,
Is your
how
house
it
in it?
was.
Do you remember?
Oh, it's very visibly in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you've ever been to my home, you know what it looks like. It's kind of specific. You won't forget it. And it is very clear that it is in the movie.
And if you want to go to his house, he lives at 662 Erie Boulevard West. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry if you actually live at that address.
Doors open all night long. Come on in. Yeah.
And his phone number is 315.
Did they change your house a ton? Could you see a ton of changes?
Oh yeah, they did. I mean, I was in and out. Like,
okay. You already
while
knew
they were
that.
building the sets
All right,
and
all
stuff.
Were you like, oh, I pooped in that bathroom?
They didn't have a
you
bathroom shot.
Did you stand up in the middle of the theater like, hey guys, that's my house?
So I don't think Colin liked the movie, but I'm not gonna. We're not gonna.
Oh, I'm not going to judge.
About it.
I have no judgment about the movie.
Okay.
What's the movie called?
Oh, the movie is called It's a Wonderful Binge. It is the
Is it streaming?
Yeah, it's on Hulu. It is a sequel to the first movie, The Binge, which was starring Vince Vaughn, and about like you can only have drugs or alcohol one day a year.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, and which is funny because here we are just sipping alcohol right now,
Yeah.
and there's a high chance that I'm going to be doing this tomorrow, and there's a 100% chance I did it yesterday.
Yeah.
So imagine if you can only do that one day a year. Yeah. So interesting movie, has quite a interesting cast. Eduardo Franco is in the movie.
Oh, okay.
He was in Stranger Things. He was Argyle in Stranger Things.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Argyle.
Caitlin Olsen is in the movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Was she
from-
in your house?
No, actually, she could have been,
Yeah.
but none of her scenes were in the house.
Who's Argyle? I'm trying to remember.
Argyle in
Yeah.
Stranger Things,
Yeah.
newest season.
Yeah.
Super long black hair, stoner, token guy.
Oh,
from
that guy.
California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
he's
guy,
like,
the pizza man guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
Okay.
one of the main characters
Okay.
of the movie.
Was he in your house?
Yeah, my house was his house in the movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so he was there quite a bit. Danny Trejo,
Yeah, I remember you telling me
AKA
about that.
Machete. He's in the movie. He was at my house.
Cool.
I never got to meet him, but whatever. And then
That
a whole
guy's
bunch
awesome.
of
I love that guy.
whole bunch of other people that you've probably seen on random TV shows and movies and such. Like
Nice.
Tim Meadows was there. Yeah. So
I just think it's cool that Caitlin Olsen was there.
I know Caitlin Olsen. Yeah, kind of random.
It's like one of our favorite shows we talk about
Yeah,
a lot.
it's
Not,
Always
you've
Sunny.
seen you've seen some episodes, but Always Sunny in Philadelphia is like one of my favorite shows.
yeah, we kind of have a religious following behind
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
right,
And So
yeah.
it's like, oh, that's kind of neat to see.
Yeah.
But
She's the girl from the
right.
she's the-
But anyway,
yeah.
that is a long derailing to basically go back to the fact of the last time that we did an interview was in March. So it's December now.
I thought
It's
you
been
were
9
talking about- I thought you were
months.
talking about Mary Kate Olsen.
No, Elizabeth Olsen.
All right,
So
sorry.
many-
Scarlet Witch was in the house.
They're actually all the same person. Well, yeah, little do we know. Yeah, you
Yeah.
just rip off a mask.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we actually haven't mentioned the interview. We just said that we're going to do an interview now.
Yeah.
And it is going to be.
It's a different one. This is kind of a I don't know. I just thought that the people would be kind of cool to talk about because for the last 10 years, I've had, and I know I haven't mentioned it yet, but I've had a home bar in my house. And the people that we are interviewing built the most elaborate home bar I have ever seen. And it went viral. Like
Right.
a video of them building their place went viral, and they've got like 15,000 followers on Instagram and all these crazy things. And the everything I can see, their collection is whiskey.
Right. Do you want to
So-
mention who this is?
So I don't
Yeah.
know the people's names. We will find out when we interview them. But they own what they call the R Bar on Instagram. The _R_ bar. Go follow them and look at their videos. It is crazy. It's a home bar. I'm sure the R stands for like their last name or something.
Yeah.
But I just shot them a message saying, hey, like I want to be, I want to figure out what is in your head. How did you, if you go look at the video, like you have to open up like a bookcase to get into this bar they have in their house. And I have so many questions for them. So excited.
We'll share a link
Yeah.
as well. We'll promote it and share a link to their Instagram
Yeah.
so you can see what
The
we're
link
actually
will
talking
be
about.
right here. Maybe right
This
here
space.
somewhere. I don't know.
Right,
Yeah.
right in here. Okay.
Right over my head. I'll try to put a link there.
Over
Yeah,
there?
we'll get it.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
Yeah, go check them out. It's gonna be fun, and listen to the interview. It should be posted by the end of this week.
Yep. Well, so that is obviously exciting news. We haven't talked to people other than ourselves in a long time.
Yeah.
A long time. That's why. That's part of the seasonal depression.
Yeah.
We just need to get out of the house a little more. But one
We
exciting.
can if we're snowed in.
I know. Yeah, the snow needs to stop.
Yeah.
It was like, and I don't have snow tires, and I drove my sports car today, and it's just
Oh.
like, this is bad.
Colin with a sports car, huh?
Oh, wow, we were.
Jeez.
It's just a Scion. It's nothing special. It's not anything special.
Lamborghini.
Okay. It's not anything special. They don't even make them anymore. Okay. Anyway.
Oh, so you got vintage, huh?
No, I think it's
hard to find Scion.
I would liken it more to what you think of when you think of Oldsmobile or Pontiac. So let's not.
He's got an old Dodge Dart.
Yeah. Let's not blow that out of proportion.
Wait, is it a Yugo?
No,
Alright.
it's a TC.
It's just a joke.
Oh. Anyway.
I'm pretty funny.
Anyway.
Yeah, he was driving. It's still got bees in it. It's really not that great of a car. It's been in his parking lot for 7 years.
But so another thing that we have a kind of on the menu here is more whiskey.
More whiskey.
More whiskey. We have whiskey in
Yeah,
front of
there's
us.
so much. Well, we have enough. It looks like we have enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's enough.
Now, what do you mean by more whiskey? Why don't you
What?
elaborate?
Oh, more whiskey is in. We've been sipping on this mystery whiskey, a little while.
Oh, more whiskey for us today.
Yeah, like literally right now.
Oh,
Right
all right,
now.
let's
like
do it.
Yeah,
this
let's do
whiskey that is on the table in front of us. So
You want to go get more whiskey?
Yeah, we need even more.
Are we going to AT Wallace? Let's go sip
Yeah,
on
all
some
right.
whiskey at
We'll
AT
be right
Wallace.
back. And
right
cut
now.
All right, we're back.
We're back,
And we're back.
we have had a lot of whiskey at AT Wally.
Yeah.
They're not even open on Sundays, but we snuck in.
They are for us.
Yeah,
We know the owner.
it's true.
Yeah. He was on our podcast. Or not our podcast.
No,
He was in our
cocktail
cocktail class.
Cocktail class.
Well, he was on a Zoom with
Yeah.
us one
Yes.
time. And he helped, make a drink for us.
Yeah, that's true.
Hot toddy.
Yeah, it was hot toddy. He made
Yep.
2 drinks.
He made 2 drinks.
It is. I forgot the name
Yeah.
of the other one.
It wasn't a name. It was just like a chai and apple cider.
Yeah, it was basically like a spiked cider.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, but it was really, really tasty.
Really good.
That's good.
Speaking of chai, perfect transition.
Oh,
Yeah.
segue.
I know, right? So we have 2 bottles here of teeny samples of the chai fusion that we've been aging in our.
He keeps saying that. He's like, I want to see him try to get a small sample from those barrels. Okay, I want to see him do it. Go ahead, Colin. Let's bring the camera over. Get Colin's shot.
All right, if we can get a 30-second clip after this for like TikTok of me trying to get, something out of like a 15-gallon barrel, sure.
Okay.
But anyway, so first bottle here. This is what we were tasting last month. And if you didn't watch the podcast, first pause this and go watch it and come back.
Yeah.
And now that you have, you remember that this whiskey, we all sampled it. We really liked how it's coming along, but it's not quite mature enough, And
Just like the 3 of us.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just not
yeah.
quite.
Maybe in 2 months we'll mature enough that our significant others won't regret their decisions on a daily basis. But anyway, so it wasn't quite ready then, and that was what, maybe 5 weeks ago?
Yeah.
4 or 5 weeks ago, and now we're gonna say, let's try it again. Maybe it's gonna the flavor's gonna come through a little bit more, or the color's a little bit better. It's kind of what we're looking for, and it's getting to the point where we're ready to actually bottle it.
Yeah.
So, I think it would be fun if we at least take a sip
Of the old one.
of the older one first.
Yeah.
See exactly, get that in our heads a little bit, like understand what that tastes like, and then we'll try the new one.
Okay. I'm gonna get I'm gonna have a little bit more coffee, so I can get that. I can cleanse the palate a little bit. I don't know what you guys want. You want more whiskey?
I'm good. I'm good.
You're good.
Probably all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sip out of the Cellarmen's Folly Java Rye coffee mug.
Yeah. Now, by the way, you can only exclusively get that in the $35 tier.
We can't get that anymore, but
Or you could. It may be available in the future.
in the future.
Yeah.
And you guys are wearing your Cellarmen's Folly t-shirts, and you're probably wondering why I'm not. But I got to tell you something. Surprise! I am.
Oh!
The new.
You're gonna have to walk up there.
Yeah, you can't really see it, but
Oh my
the new
goodness.
Patreon only T-shirt you guys should have gotten this week. I don't know if you can really see it. This can become whiskey. You can become anything. Great artwork designed by Colin.
That looks terrific.
Yeah, it looks great. It looks great. So, a little surprise.
That's awesome.
I haven't seen that shirt in person yet. I actually did order one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I ordered a sample from Patreon so I
nice.
could get it.
Awesome.
And I'm waiting for it, and I'll pay you guys back or I'll put money in our account, obviously, because it deducts it from it. And I was hoping to surprise you guys.
Can you get more
it.
samples?
Yeah, I think we can order any number.
Oh, really?
So technically, we could all order them.
Well, I don't need to.
Well, you don't need to.
How
Yeah.
about you just sign up for the $35 tier, guys?
I don't have enough money. I am in the $3 tier to make sure I get the newsletter.
He's got a sports
and then
car. What are you talking about having enough money?
My sports car is like 14 years old and out of production.
Yeah, I need to make more money too.
Yeah. Anyway, I was hoping to surprise you guys with that shirt, but actually seeing it in person, it looks.
You're like, I don't want it anymore.
yeah. I'd be like, I did a bad job. Let's stop having me do.
No,
this
it's a
artwork."
great design.
It actually looks awesome.
He did the whole corn like by scratch, right? Like
Yeah, I actually drew the corn.
it looks great.
Yeah,
Wow.
you can't really see it from the camera here, but obviously if you're
Just
on the
when I went up there, go back, pause
Yeah.
when I showed
It
up.
is on the Patreon page.
It is on the
So you
Patreon.
could actually just see what the shirt looks like on the page. But it did come out really well. I like the color of the shirt.
Yeah.
The corn's maybe a little bit brighter than I would have liked to see. I would have maybe had a little bit darker of a green. But
I love it.
I think everything about it looks super fun. And it's exactly what we were hoping for.
Screams fun.
It just screams fun. And that's what we're all about here.
Yeah.
And so if you want to have fun, then you need to bump up to that $35 tier so you can get that damn t-shirt. Otherwise, you're not having enough fun.
So if you haven't gotten it yet, it'll be coming soon. I just talked to my parents yesterday. I know they're in the $35 tier. They have not received theirs yet. So don't be, if you listen to this, you haven't gotten it yet, you should be getting it very soon.
Yeah, we have seen the emails, from
Yeah.
Patreon that let us know that these people are going to be getting them, and so we know that they're going to ship them out and everything.
Yeah.
I think it depends a little bit on like what day the person may have signed up.
Sure.
To
Yeah, I think
determine
you're right.
when they get them. So
Right.
you may have gotten it first for whatever reason, and then other people in the tier might get it, within the next couple weeks.
Sure.
So it's in the
In the process. You'll get it soon. But
your package is processing. We'll say that.
yeah. Stephen Lynn Streeter, Kari, Alex, Ann, I believe the people that you should be. If you hear your name, you should be getting them soon.
Yep. Yeah. Can't wait to see what they look like.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's give these samples a shot.
Okay. Let's start with the old one.
Yep.
That was hard to open.
Those mason jars,
Little sample, little baby size.
Oh, because I screwed up. Put mine in the glass.
I know. Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I know. What kind of person puts sipping whiskey in a shot glass? Like, I'm just an idiot. All right.
Okay.
It
So
smells
remember.
so good.
Yeah, it smells like apple pie if you remember.
It does smell really good.
Yeah. I'm getting more chai this time around. Maybe because it's been sitting for a while.
I'm a little sniffly, so don't go by.
Yeah,
my
it's
way.
that weather. I mean, it is snowing outside, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna take a sip. Ooh. It's tasty.
It is tasty.
Yeah. I remember it better than it tastes better than what I remember it, but that's just
I think it's still. I mean, obviously, it hasn't changed.
No,
It's
yeah,
been
it
in
hasn't
the,
changed.
It's been in the jar since we tapped that barrel.
It's nice to give it a second taste,
Yeah, I mean, it does have the hint of everything, but it doesn't have the flavor. Kind of recapping what we talked about last time. It doesn't quite have that explosion of chai flavor that we have with all of our experimental samples. It tastes wonderful on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I would be very happy to just be like, yeah, let's market this on its own, put it in a bottle, people will enjoy it. But it's not quite the right product for what we got. So we're gonna see what it's like another month later. It does smell really good though. Really good.
Very happy with this. I think we said this before too. If this was on the shelf, I'd be very proud.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
It's just
as
not.
is.
It's just not what we're used to for our
Right.
chai.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing about it. It's like we are on the right track there.
Yeah, this is good, but we want to be up here.
Yeah,
It's just not. It's just not matured. That doesn't mean what's here is bad.
No, I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think people would be very happy with this, but we have a certain standard for our products that we want, and we know it's going to change because we're using a different whiskey. It's aging in a different way, like a bigger barrel. We knew it's not going to be exactly what we're used to, but it's still not
really
what we
Yeah, it is. I think better in many ways.
Oh,
it's just,
yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.
not. It's just not quite. It doesn't have the flavors, the profile that we're ideally getting.
Yeah.
And it is possible, just to put this out there, ahead of us having this, that we might not hit that same exact profile.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
it may because again, you know, with the small samples of the chai fusion we made, as same goes for the Java rye.
Yeah.
Like they are very pronounced flavors, but they're made in really small batches, like small batches that are like highly controlled. And it is a learning curve a little bit for us to see like how do we get that exact same thing in a barrel that is 15 times bigger. Right. So, you know, we might not nail it on the first try.
Right.
But that's also something that I think I wanted to mention this last podcast and I didn't. Or maybe I did. So apologies if this sounds the same. But remember when we interviewed Whiskey Row? We didn't interview Whiskey Row.
Jeremy from
we
Whiskey.
interviewed Jeremy, the brand ambassador.
Yeah.
And the big thing that he said, because their Whiskey Row, it's a blend from various distilleries across the country, and he's like every single like seasonal batch, for lack of a better word, is slightly different than the last.
Yeah.
Because there's so many elements that go into it. And so one of the neat things about this is like many people will be upset that like maybe the product's not consistent or whatever the case may be, but other people might be really interested to me like, oh, like this is actually evolving or it's slightly different. Or if you get a bottle, say in January of 2022 and then a bottle in January of 2023 and they're from different batches, they might be slightly different. So like you can find the difference.
Yeah.
We may experience that here,
Yeah.
you know, as we kind of work our way through that.
Yeah.
So
Now that we're finishing this one, we're all thinking the same things. I know I said it's a little better, but maybe it's just because I've been sipping whiskey and I'm already have the whiskey palate or whatever. But a couple of things to know about this new one. Yes, it's been aged for 5 weeks longer, but it's been really cold. We've had the heat on this place, but it's still, we still set it at 62 or something like this in here. So it's going to be weather affects how things age. The colder it is, the more it stays in the barrel. Doesn't necessarily really soak into the wood as much.
it slows it down.
Yeah, and there's been a couple of days where I'm like, we got to pay for, our electric bill's not going up. Not that you need to know that. I'll cut that out. But it's like, it's a lot of different things that affect how we do things.
Yeah.
Another thing to note, too, when I took a sample from 5 weeks ago, I used
this one.
Yeah, I used one barrel. I just took this out as Colin was getting here.
Yeah.
And I took a sample from all 3 barrels. Another reason why it's much more quantity, because I got, the way the thing pulls it from, it's like, 6 seconds here, 6 seconds here, 6 seconds here. So I got more volume. I didn't mean to. It's just how it is. And then we had to dilute it, and it's a very high proof. So proofing it down calls for a lot more water.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why. So sure, there's a lot right there, but sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a really good
I think
point.
it's cool that you did all 3.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a really good
in case
point.
one of
Because
Yeah.
you guys are going to have the mixture of all 3 barrels when we blend them all together anyway, so why not try to taste
Right.
that?
Yeah. So just let everybody know, we currently with the production batch of Chai Fusion, the first batch, we have 45 gallons total of very high proof whiskey.
140 proof.
Yeah, 140 proof whiskey being aged currently, and we're doing that across 3 barrels. So this first batch that we tasted was simply off of 1 barrel. It is possible that all 3 of them are completely identical, but it is possible that
It's not likely, but
it's not likely. But it's not likely that that's the case. So there might be slight variances between each barrel, which would, expand how it tastes.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Yeah, I think it's all for better because they're all different flavors kind of getting in there. I mean, for one small example, every barrel is hand charred. So that alone is going to be different from barrel to barrel. Someone's going to have a little bit more of a heavy char inside the barrel versus the other one. But I just think a better representation of what the product on the shelf will be is to get it from all
exactly. Yeah. That's kind of where I was going with that. Is what we have here is likely. I mean, obviously, it's likely closer than what people will get because it's been aging longer. But it also is a combination of all the whiskey that's being aged that will be combined, that will be diluted together. It's not necessarily going to be the case of 1 barrel, 1 barrel, 1 barrel.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys ready to see round 2?
Round 2.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm gonna give that to you because if I pour it, it will spill everywhere.
Fucking mason jars. There you go.
Do you want me to open it?
No, I got it.
He-Man over here.
Yeah, He-Man. Yeah. I do really like this.
It's so good.
It's so good.
And if you come into the shop this Friday, you can actually see the differences between the two. We'll put them on display. You can't try them, though.
Yeah.
I mean, legally.
Looky, no touchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we legally cannot give that to people.
All right, so let's go. I know you guys are all over the place with smells and stuff like that, but let's do what we did last month. Just smell it. Cheers. Round 2.
How do you cheers a smell? Is that the word?
Oh, dude. This is so good.
I'm just gonna stick my nose in this jar really quick.
That's the old one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
That way you can compare.
It's a lot harder to smell out of a jar.
I'm sure.
This should probably be in snifters, but next time. We'll think about that next time. Okay.
Are you getting much? Can you get much?
No, not a ton. Just with
Yeah, you're stuffy.
stuffed up nose. But I do get a little bit more than I got with the last one.
It is a different smell.
Oh yeah, definitely different smell.
It is a different smell.
Now what's the difference in there? What do you get?
You just a little bit more.
Oh, I get the spice.
Just a little bit
I
more
actually am getting
enhanced.
the spices a lot more.
You couldn't really smell the spices in the old one. You get more of that like almost
Apple-y.
yeasty apple.
Yeah.
flavor.
So just if our listeners don't realize when you distill like whiskey like freshly, it does smell quite a bit like that yeast.
Yeah,
apple.
corn whiskey does.
Corn whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a very prominent sweet like. If you've ever baked,
Yeah, it's almost
Yeah,
apple-y, banana-y. I get a whole different kinds of
obviously
fruits.
it depends what's going into it, but
Yeah.
typically that's the type of thing you're going to smell with a corn whiskey.
Yeah.
And so prominently, or not prominently, but more prominently, that's what was coming through here, and less of the actual spices and other notes that we're accustomed to.
Right.
That is coming through a lot more right now. And that it's kind of redistributing, like not really smelling that spirit profile and smelling a lot more of the spices.
Which is what we want to do.
Yeah.
What do you get more of now? I know I know it's kind of hard right now in the.
Right. I just get pretty much what you were saying. A little bit more enhanced spice scent.
Yeah.
A little less yeasty.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. So
Yeah.
I also agree. I'm also getting a lot more vanilla and caramel in it than I'm actually used to. I think that's the
Whiskey?
no, I think that's the barrel.
I think that's the barrel.
Yeah, I mean that's where the wood kind of shines through. You get more vanilla, more caramel, more, and with those spices, it's like something. I'm really loving the smell.
You guys ready to try it?
Oh yeah.
All right, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Another
Proper
cheers,
cheers.
another cheers.
Proper. Yeah.
All right.
Papa cheers.
Look at me with my glass like a moron.
It's also possible it's not diluted. I'm getting a lot more alcohol to this
Let's
one.
look at the same thing.
Yeah.
It may not be diluted perfectly. Okay,
Yeah,
so
because-
here's the thing. Other thing. So with this sample, again, as Nick mentioned, what's in the barrel is like 140 proof.
Yeah.
Right.
So we dilute it down. The actual bottles will be 80. So we have to dilute the sample down with water. You did that like by hand
Yeah.
right before we
I-
did this
I guessed
without a
for sure.
hydrometer. So it was completely
okay.
guessing. So what we're drinking at the moment might not actually be.
Might be 90.
Yeah, yeah,
It tastes more like 100 to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
honestly.
yeah. It's probably closer to 100 proof, which is okay. Which is okay.
yeah.
But that's something that
We just
we
don't
have
have
to.
a. Yeah, this is much more harsh than this.
Yeah,
Which is
it's-
not. That means to me, it makes me. I really want to proof it down to the 80, and I just don't know how to do that right now.
Where's our hydrometer?
We have a hydrometer, but we don't have a graduated cylinder, so everything's just falling right down to the bottom.
Oh,
It's at my
okay.
house, and I just.
Okay,
I didn't-
it's just not at the shop at the moment. Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how we should get the hydrometer and just point it at, and then
Yeah, that's a good idea. How much do those cost?
hydrometers.
No, the one the.
Hundreds of dollars.
Oh well, maybe in time. Maybe with a few more Patreon members, we'll get there. You guys help us a ton, but not quite to the extent of frivolous multi-hundred
Yeah,
dollar
we need to
purchases.
spend frivolously.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not even the hydrometer we need.
You know what? For the time being, it's not too important. I mean, so here's I guess a lesson here is one, we know. I can say because I think we can agree.
Yeah.
This is definitely not at the proof that it would be at.
Yeah.
But
How are the flavors coming through for you guys still?
well, the flavor. I'm getting hit with a bite that we wouldn't expect to have.
Right.
But the smell on the nose, it is definitely coming through much better. I think, despite the fact that it is much higher proof than what it should be, it does taste better.
Oh yeah.
It's just it's hard to tell
Yeah.
at the moment because
I can go add a little bit more water to
Yeah.
it and keep proofing it down if you'd like. Which just I mean.
I think it's fine as is. But
Yeah.
now, I guess one thing though that we could I will mention is we have talked about with our Patreon subscribers. Whenever we do experimental whiskeys for the class, which by the way, that spiced strawberry whiskey, we didn't mention that in the agenda, but spiced strawberry coming your way very soon.
Yes.
But one thing that has come up a couple times is a higher proof corn whiskey.
You're right.
And this, granted, what we have here is not really eligible to find its way into the Patreon at the moment, but it's a really good example of this is what this tastes like when we ramp it way the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like, I like it.
I do like it as well, although...
It's not. It's just. It's a different product.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
It's like
different
going
product,
the
yeah.
opposite direction from what we typically do.
Right.
Um,
Now, if this was proof down, and before we leave here, I want to figure out a way to do that so that we have an accurate portrayal of what we should
Yeah.
do next. How do you feel? Do you still feel like it's not mature enough? Or is that hard to decide because it's not?
I think at the moment it's hard. It's too hard to decide because again, we want to taste a sample of what is ultimately going to be in the barrel or ultimately going to be in the bottle.
Right.
And at the moment, we know this is not that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have to have an exact understanding of it. I think it tastes absolutely terrific.
Yeah.
I think it's great too.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think we
Yeah.
should really... It's
Yeah.
hard to tell, and also with me being stuffed up and the fact that it's a higher proof,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to realize what we
Yeah.
need to do next.
Now, if I had to speculate, though, I think even though that this is probably between 90 and 100 proof, diluting it down to 80 is likely not going to just like lift the veil on the flavors that we are anticipating to the degree that we want them. So my guess is that when we do dilute it down to 80, we still may not quite be there. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But again, like what I was saying earlier, like it's also possible like we may not actually be able to achieve the same exact profile that we did in something that was this size. So yeah, it's hard to say. I think it tastes excellent.
Yeah.
But we need to. I think a lesson here is while we're sampling things from one step to the next, it has to be the exact same thing. We have to know it. Like if this is 80 proof, this should be 80 proof, or this is we did this at 85. Make this 85, just so we know exactly what we're working with. But I like the direction.
Sure. I will say I will agree and disagree with you on a few things. I will disagree with you saying that diluting it down from 95 to 80 won't change it drastically. I disagree. I think it will very much change the flavor of it. But I'm not saying, but I will agree that it may not change it.
Change it drastically.
I don't think it'll, I just think that when the alcohol bite is not there and diluting, because we work with 100 proof all the time. Mm-hmm. When we were doing very small batch stuff, that's how we were getting our booze at 100 proof, and we'd proof it down to 80. So I think it will change it drastically, but I will agree that it may not change it to the flavors of what we
that's
want.
kind of what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
It's not like a night and day, or it could be a night and day change, but is that going to be enough to actually be like, this is what we're expecting it to taste like?
Right.
That, I don't know. So.
You finished with the Legos?
Can't wait to see it.
I know. Well, when we're done.
Is there like a full-grown tree back there yet? Oh.
All right. We'll post a picture on the Instagram. Yeah. It's like, it's hard to say if it's going to be quite ready enough. Like, obviously it's better. I think we could agree no matter what. It's going to be better.
Yeah. Actually, that last sip I just had, I kept it in my mouth for a long time, and I was able to...
Yeah.
It cut through a little bit more.
It is good.
Yeah,
it is good.
Breathing,
It's just like, we have a certain, like, standard with this that we want to make sure it's there.
Yeah, definitely.
It comes so well in this, like when you smell it though, holy shit.
I feel like this is closer to 100 because we always age with the smaller batch. We always age, then proof down. So, I would, when I'm the one that typically does that work,
right?
And I always take a sip before and after. And
this
this tastes like our normal chai, just not proof down to 80.
Yeah. It's different,
which is very exciting, which means it's almost done.
Yeah.
But who knows? We have to really try it.
We'll refine it.
Another thing I want to say is that just as an example of proving things down and have a completely different change, remember the pepper whiskeys. When we were like not really stoked on the jalapeno pineapple one when we tried it. After you guys left, I proofed it down, and then in the middle of the class, I remember in the class, I'm going to splice it in of Colin going, wow, this is a completely different whiskey than what I tried before, and it's way smoother and way better. And I'm just hoping that proving this down a little bit more will have that, oh my God,
that is like the absolute best case scenario.
Sure, right.
Obviously, with the pineapple jalapeno whiskey,
that
was a completely, it tasted completely different.
Right, yeah.
You know, will it happen here? Maybe.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
Let's hope so, because either way, I think it's close. You know, whether it might not be this month, but maybe by next month we're like, it's good.
It's
we're
right there.
ready.
Yep.
We're ready.
And if we prove it down and we think that it is ready, it's not going to be ready by Friday. Just let you know.
Still pre-order.
Yeah, still pre-order.
There are other things that have to happen with that.
Yeah, we need a lot of other things before we do.
But it can at least be taken out of a bottle.
Yeah.
It's like we know that that's going to happen.
Yep.
So.
That it's still looking like probably, if this is done, January still at this point.
And so just to go back, because it is December right now. You know, when we were talking in January.
No. November. Or are you talking about last January?
Last January.
Oh, okay.
Or January of 2022.
Okay. Okay.
A year ago almost.
Yeah. So we were saying, or it might have been December. You know, our New Year's resolutions were things being ready by the end of the year. Obviously, we're coming up towards the end of the year.
I think we're
on track, very close there. Now, granted, you know, there's a lot of unknowns with, is this product going to be mature enough? You know, that's up to us to decide, because we could just say, fuck it, it's ready. We're gonna put it in a bottle, but you know, we're not just gonna do that.
Yeah.
And there's just some other little things, but I think within the next, you know, month, 2 months at absolute worst, like, this should be.
Yeah.
It's
we want to all agree on this too.
Yeah. It's mature enough. It tastes right.
Yeah.
The other stuff that we have to deal with packaging and stuff to make sure that the bottles are ready for people to purchase.
Yeah.
All that stuff should be just completely done.
Yeah.
So really, really close.
Yes.
You know? We're like the 95th mile.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So,
out of 3,000, but yeah.
Yeah, out of 3,000. Yeah, but we take them 100 at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. The more I think about it, that's at least 100 proof.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
It's really, I mean, I'm guessing that this mystery whiskey is 80.
Yeah.
And
we gotta get back to that.
I know we're not supposed to talk.
Yeah. We've been drinking
also,
for a while.
And also, we know that's 80. And just how harsh it is.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. Like, if that's what we were going for,
right?
It's pretty darn good. You know?
Yeah. You got to remember, Nick was doing that without any kind of measurement assistance.
Oh yeah, very quickly we're all getting here.
From 140 proof.
Yeah.
So maybe when you do this, maybe 7,000 more times, you'll just know exactly how much has to be there. But you know what? I know, amateur, right? But
everything I do, he's got something to say about it.
I know, it's never good enough.
Wait, if you're here more often, Kyle.
Everybody got something to say.
I live 45 minutes away. I'm trying.
Oh my God, I do that every day for work. I start turning into Sebastian Maniscalco. Hey, what's going on? Anyway,
there is no Pepe Sylvia.
Kyla's always got something to say.
All right,
Eminem.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think we got to figure out what this whiskey is.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I have when we're off camera, I have an idea if you guys are down, and we'll figure something out.
For dilution.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways, let's get back to the podcast and the mystery whiskey. Anything else we want to talk about today? I think we're getting up there anyway with time, so.
We can edit this out. We're at 49 minutes, so not too bad.
Yeah.
And our agenda, we covered everything.
Cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
We're good.
Now we got the mystery whiskey. Let's sip on it again. I'm going to sip a coffee to kind of get that chai out of my mouth.
I've been sipping on it, yeah.
I have some things to say about this. Yeah, just drinking this after that, it's like,
exactly.
This is smooth. Like, this is smooth. My guess is that it's 80 proof.
80, me too, yep.
Absolutely. Lower proof.
It has a Scotch feel to it. There's like that, it's like barley for sure. I don't taste rye, I don't taste corn, I don't taste sweetness, there's a little bit of sweetness to it.
I taste a little sweetness, I was going to say.
Oh, I definitely get sweet.
Yeah, I get sweet. That's not like a flavored sweetness, but.
That's all I really have. I don't particularly like it. I don't know, but
it's really difficult for me to taste it fully. I guess.
You agree with me? You don't really like it?
Well, I don't really like it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not bad, but So, you know what? I mentioned when we first sipped it, I was like, I have like a laser focus thing.
Oh, yeah.
What was your laser
The
focus?
first thing that I went to was like, this is like Jim Beam apple or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I don't think it's a flavor.
I don't.
No, I don't think it's a flavored
I don't think
whiskey
it is.
either.
No, that was my initial impression. So again, now granted, Caleb and I have not been.
Feeling the best.
Well, no, not that. Just we haven't been drinking like coffee or doing anything to
Oh, yeah.
That's
like
true.
reset our palate.
That's true.
But we
You want
did.
to sip your thing and try it
we-
again?
I already finished it. It's
We
all right.
tried this before we had that, and then went back, and I still taste like up front. It's like tastes like apple. Not super sweet, but like I get apple.
I get a little bit of
So
sweetness.
to me, this feels more like an American whiskey.
Okay.
I don't think it's something like Jim Beam apple. If it is, then that will be really awkward. But
American,
do
you think bourbon?
I do think it's probably. I personally think it's a bourbon. But beyond that, I think definitely a lower proof. Now, the only difference there is this a bourbon that may have been finished in something funny, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily like a. So I don't think
Like the
it's.
Tullamore cider cask.
Yeah,
That was cool.
yeah.
That was a good one.
So I've been
think it might-
drinking.
I think it might be.
Yeah, so I could be wrong, and I often am. I've been drinking a lot of scotch finished in other barrels lately, like mostly the Macallan. Like drinking a lot of Macallan, and Macallan's known for finishing their whiskey in sherry barrels.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. This doesn't taste like that to me. This tastes more like an American whiskey that is either not flavored, but it has those notes up front, or it's finished in like a sweeter wine barrel or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't. That's as far as I could get with it. So yeah. What about
So
you?
the just before we
Yeah.
all say, I just wanted to point out the hints to what Molly gave us, which I've already
right.
told you guys.
Right.
So earlier in the week, when we figured out it was my turn to do the mystery whiskey, meaning it was my significant other's turn to do the mystery whiskey.
Yeah, got to keep us blind to what
yes.
to what we're looking at.
Colin mentioned, we've had a string of really good whiskeys, like the last 7 months or something like that. It's been really good scotches and bourbons and that sort of thing. We haven't messed with a funny flavor in a while, and we still haven't. It's not.
I don't think
one
this
of
is
those-
funny.
this is,
Definitely
yeah.
not
This is not banana whiskey.
not banana or Tabasco or something
Yeah,
like that.
not-
I'm not laughing at this.
No.
No.
No funny bits.
So we know that's not one of those things. But I remember saying to her, going Colin says we haven't had a very crazy one in a while. It's all been really good whiskeys that we had the last probably most of this year has been really good whiskeys. And she gave me a funny face.
What does his face look like? Can you?
She was just like, huh.
It's like
one of those I let me find out. But this was before she purchased it. She never said anything about it after that she bought it. So it makes me think that maybe it's bottom shelf,
Right.
which it could definitely possibly be.
Yeah.
Now tasting it, it tastes like something. At Singer's, being a bartender too, I kind of may have an upper hand here, just because I taste well whiskey all the time.
Right.
And this tastes like. I still say Scotch, but it could be now that you. That's the thing about us talking about things. You guys say American whiskey or bourbons or something like that. It just could be a well bourbon, but I still have Scotch on the brain for some
But it could be a
reason.
well Scotch.
It could be a well Scotch, but it's sweeter. It tastes better than a well Scotch.
Right. I mean, this very
Yeah.
well could just be like a Dewar's 10-year that something. Yeah, I'm not
I don't
making
know about
up.
that, but
you never know.
I'm gonna go with just a middle of the road bourbon.
Yeah.
middle of the road
I don't
bourbon,
think it's-
like Jim Beam or something.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily finished in anything else. I'm just gonna go with something basic. I don't have anything in mind brand wise.
We think it's middle of the road.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is, I think, whatever this is great for mixing, like
Yeah.
a cocktail.
Yeah,
you know?
this is good for a cocktail.
It's not the worst. That's why I'm maybe it's not a well, because it
Yeah.
could be call, which is middle of the road, we're talking about.
Yeah.
It is not our cup of tea, or at least you and I. I think we agree. It's
I'm having a hard time tasting it. At
I
all,
know,
so
it's kind of a hard-
difficult
hard
right
one.
now
it's
for me.
fine, but I don't the last
do get the
couple.
sweet note in
the
it.
last few, I'd be like, I want a bottle of this at home.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way about this.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if I had it, be like, sure, it's fine, but
It'll sit there.
This is the type of thing that I'm going to exclusively use to mix drinks with.
Yeah.
I'm not
Sure.
going to
Really
be
sip
sipping
on
on
it.
it every day.
Yeah.
No.
You know.
And I will say, I think it's better than well, but it's middle of the road. It smells like a Scotch to me, but it tastes sweeter than a Scotch. That's where I'm getting that.
All right. Where's the bottle?
Oh, it's over there.
Is it in the bag?
It's in the bag.
All right.
Grab it.
I'll grab it. Yeah.
I wonder what that sweetness is, though. I mean, it's got to be
go.
something.
Okay.
All
Maybe
right,
it is
let's find out
finished
what
in
it is.
something else.
What
I don't
it
know.
is.
All right.
Any more guesses?
Not really. No.
I don't think
I
there's
know it's
anything
just
else for me to
my
say.
taste is
Yeah,
playing
we're
games
gonna
on
find
me.
out
I don't
now.
know.
It's going to be like a $500 bottle.
Clan McGregor blended Scotch whiskey.
Blended Scotch. Okay. You were right. And we were way off.
At
least
trying to find the
partially
proof
off.
here. Distilled, aged, and blended in Scotland. 40 proof. We're all right about that. Clan McGregor. I've never heard of this brand. I can't tell you what the price point is. Just judging by the label, it seems cheap.
I'm going to look it up real quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clan McGregor. I've never heard of this. Have you?
I've never heard of it. Can I see it?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever even seen it.
I immediately, because I saw this logo here in the green bottle, I'm like, it's Jameson again.
Yeah.
I
know,
thought that
right?
immediately.
Yeah. It just says a blend of our finest malt and grain whiskeys.
Malt and grain, so there could be
What
other,
kind is it?
Complex Clan MacGregor.
I got that. Anything else specific about it?
blended Scotch
Blended
whiskey.
Scotch whiskey, that's all it says. Complex, sweet, and mellow flavor.
So I will say, and I'll say this to Molly too.
It's aged for 3 years.
Oh, okay. Young, very young.
Yeah.
See if that's what this is.
$20 ish. Okay.
I think that's the one.
Yeah, that's it. Right
Yeah,
there.
looks like it.
But that's 1.75 liters. Try to look up 750.
Oh, is that a smaller one?
Yeah, this is 750.
That is way bigger than... You said that was a $21 bottle for...
This one.
Where's the?
Is this it? 1.75?
Is this 750?
Shit, it
No,
looks
no, no.
like it looks like it.
No, we're looking at. This is 750, I think.
It's definitely a 750 milliliter. Yeah.
It seems taller.
Maybe I'm wrong.
It doesn't. It doesn't say. Probably because it's.
How does it not say that? It has to be on the label.
Well, I don't
That's
know. It's 84 millimeters. What's that?
Right, but it's a TTB requirement. Oh, well, there it was. There it
Where-
was.
where?
Other side, right here.
No, that's 40
Oh.
proof.
What the fuck?
Well,
It's really
TTB
not right.
is United States. This
Right,
is-
but you have to, in
What-
order to sell it in the
what's the
United States, it has to have
milliliter, what
those
did it say?
requirements.
We're trying to find.
No, I know. You said 80 something.
Oh no, it's Oh yeah. What's it right here?
I'll just look it up.
It says 84.
All right, we're going to do math on the podcast.
84
everyone.
what?
millimeters.
Millimeter to what? Milliliters?
No, millimeters.
Oh.
I know. That's why I'm. This is 1 liter.
It is a liter. Okay.
It's a liter.
Okay.
One
so
liter.
$20 for a liter. That's what I thought it
Wow.
looked like. So yeah, it's a cheaper whiskey. Honestly, not the worst for the price. Honestly, like we said, it's really good for mixing. Like if you want
Yeah.
to mix this with something, it's got a little bit of sweetness,
This is 1.75 liters.
and that's $20. Oh, so at $750, this is probably $12-$13.
Yeah,
Something.
it's going to
Okay.
be pretty cheap.
And we
pretty
kind of, that's what we were all thinking, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So honestly,
Blended scotch.
for I'd say a well Scotch.
It's not a bad mixing.
No,
It's not
yeah,
worst.
it's totally
Not the
fine for
worst.
mixing, just not something that you're going to want to be drinking on its own.
Yeah, it's if you have a lot of these, you may get a headache.
Maybe a pickleback, huh, guys?
Yeah, sure.
We do love our pickles.
But yeah, very sweet. If you are trying to get into scotches, that's a good entry in because
Yeah.
it has that sweetness to it. I picked up on a little bit of scotch notes.
I think
You did.
I think you might get the point just for that. We all said about 80.
We all kind of got
I
it.
all
think
kinda-
I think Caleb and I though were off.
I think we're off a little bit.
We said the proof, but we're like it's a bourbon.
I said a bourbon. Yeah.
I-
I did
I
stick
have
with the bourbon.
absolutely
I was
no
going
game-
back and forth
yeah.
from scotch and bourbon, and I probably should have picked
Yeah.
up on the sweet notes a little bit
I
and
can't
went the
get a
other
point.
way.
I can't get a point at all.
They advertise it perfectly, honestly. Complex, not really, but sweet and mellow flavor, which is definitely that.
Yeah, there's a sweet.
You could say that about virtually anything.
I know, but that's actually what it is.
Yeah.
I think this is a decent, cheap scotch if you're trying to get into scotches. Start here and then work your way towards Lagavulin. Yeah, honestly, Molly picked a good one. Not necessarily the best kind of whiskey, but a good one for us to like kind of fuck around with.
She was right with the price point thing.
Yes, right with the price point thing.
If you said it was like $12 or something like that, we're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
You know.
Honestly, it's yeah, it was a really good mystery whiskey for us to try to figure out.
You know, I think this is especially good as well because a lot of the good whiskeys that we've had lately, you know, like last, what was your whiskey last month?
I didn't have last month.
It was Jameson. It was the Jameson.
I did
you
have.
did
I
the
did have
last one.
That's right.
It was the Jameson IPA one, or no, stout.
Yes,
The stout, that
That's
one,
right.
which was pretty good. I mean, that's probably not a crazy high price point, but it was still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last one was Jefferson aged at sea.
Yeah, that was a fucking
that's
$70 bottle.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, and so we have, and just the progression back. It's like the consistently.
I know the one I had before that.
Between like 40 and $80.
I spent a decent amount on the one before that, but it wasn't the best. It was a barrel proof one. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
I do.
You guys were like
It was
smelling
pretty
it.
good.
Like, oh, this
Yeah,
is
but-
pretty
Oh
good.
yeah, that was a fun one.
But the thing is, it's like the price point has generally been between like $40 and $80 or so.
True, yeah.
And usually, if you're going to encounter something in that range, like you do expect it to be decent, you know.
Yeah.
So she threw us for a loop with this.
Sometimes I want to like pick like a flavored one, but that's such an easy guess. Like, oh, this is a
You never know. I mean, we
peach
could have
flavor,
hop,
you know,
hop
like
you guys
IPA
did-
flavor.
You guys did not get the Tabasco one. I remember that was my
one was a
That
different
was
one.
way
That was
off.
different.
Way off.
Tabasco, you
there
never
are
know, the
there are
ones you can't-
flavors out
and
there.
it took a while for. I think you ended up getting it, but the banana one, you said apple at first or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
No.
I did end up getting it, but it took a lot of hints.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's that. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Good job,
Good
Molly.
job.
I'll take-
Good
I'll
job.
take-
Fun
That was a
mystery
fun,
whiskey.
yeah, really fun. That's pretty much the podcast, right? We had
Yeah.
nothing else.
No,
A
that's
couple
it.
things I want to promote. This Friday, come get your pre-orders and secure your bottle. We're only doing 100 pre-orders. We expect the pre-orders to sell out pretty quick. I know a lot of people coming on Friday.
Yep.
5 at a time, I think we decided, right? Are we doing a
6.
limit? 6. Oh, yeah. Case, yeah. 6, you can order 6. So
Up to 6.
Up
yeah.
to 6. No, you have to do 6.
Yeah, it's either yeah.
Just kidding.
Half a bottle.
You can only do half a bottle.
Right.
No.
Order a sip.
Pre-order start. Come to the shop in Auburn every Friday between 5 and 9. I'll be here most of the time. Colin, you coming Friday?
I wish
This
I could
Friday, no, but I will be here in a couple weeks.
Any sort of Friday I can make, I'll be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
It's just difficult.
First day opening. Okay.
Yeah, this Friday I'm not going to be able to. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll be here, and we will be open every Friday from 5 to 9, and so that's the big thing too. Also, we're still in museum for the next few weeks until the 30th. Go to the Cayuga Museum here in Auburn.
Right on Genesee, right?
Right on Genesee Street. For a few more weeks, you can see our exhibits, Proof Positive. It's really fun. It's all, not just our exhibit.
the whole
Our exhibit is
thing.
really
The whole
cool
thing's
too, and
awesome.
we're very proud of it. But
We're part of an exhibit. Put it that way.
that's what I meant. It's really cool. You'll have a few more weeks to get it until the 30th of December, and we'll get our still back. Ideas.
Finally.
Ideas,
Nice.
boys. That'd be great. Anything else that we should be promoting? Oh, Whiskey Wednesday is this Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We did
Cocktail
say that.
class. I sent a reminder to you guys, but I think everyone was kind of busy this weekend. So we'll decide when the cocktail. But Caleb and I are collabing on the cocktail this month. It's going to be really fun, very festive.
Oh, yeah.
Booze heavy. Not so sweet this time. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah. That's it, I think.
That's it. We did it.
We did it, guys.
We did it.
Yep.
Great
We did
job.
it. All right. Bam. All right.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. See
Bye.
you guys all later.
Bye.